Fuck it.
Ready?
All right, let's go.
3, 2.
That's what I figured.
The fuck?
That's your phone connected to the Bluetooth. Mute the Bluetooth. All right.
That's right, bitch.
No idea.
That's what I figured.
That's what I figured, bitch.
Fuck you, Siri. Welcome back to August Bites. Talking to Meg.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meg. Talking to Meg.
Talking to Meg.
Talking to Meg.
Context for this.
And Meg too.
And Meg 2. Meg 2. The Meg franchise. The Meg at large.
The Meg.
Jude,
I love you.
I'm sincerely sorry
You should be.
What?
for the
Why?
bet that I laid down without knowing.
I regret our gambling.
Do you want to refresh everyone's memory
I'm
about the
going
arrangement?
to. Yeah. So you wanted me to watch Sharknado.
Did.
And I said,
Honestly, the whole time we were watching Meg 2, I was like, Sharknado's way better than this.
I still am not convinced. But you were like, you need to watch Sharknado. And I was like, you need to watch the Meg 2. And your bet was I needed to listen to both books in order to
Read or listen to the audiobook.
Right, yeah. Obviously, it's faster for me to listen because I read like a snail. So I listened to both books. I made do on my bet. And then I took you to the Meg 2.
Yep.
And then I was like, God, I get it.
Yep.
So sorry.
You're welcome.
Well, we should also point out that before Alex took you and me to see the Meg 2, he went and saw it ahead of time.
So you watched this piece of shit twice.
I did, yeah. So a buddy of mine, my best friend.
What?
Yeah, I saw the movie
You
twice.
went twice?
Yeah.
Wow.
My buddy wanted to hang out. We haven't seen each other in a minute. We've been busy, life stuff. And he's like, hey, man, you want to go to the movies? And I'm like, yeah, what do you want to see? He's like, I don't know. I haven't seen anything since like 3 months
You
ago.
could have literally picked anything
Well,
else.
I was like, well, the only thing that him and I could have like sat down and watched.
Oppenheimer.
No, I can't do 2 episodes of that. That was too much. I was like, well, we can go see Mission Impossible or we can go see the Meg. And he's like, let's go check out the Meg. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's go do the Meg. So I went to go see it with him. And as I was watching it, I was like, okay. Wow. This is a rough one. And then I sat on it for a couple of days and I kind of wrapped my head around it. And then I was like, okay, now I need to go with Jude. And she is going to hate me.
I had
Because
no idea.
it is
So angry the whole time.
It is so
I
bad.
watched most of it without my glasses on.
Yeah, I know. You took your,
At one point, I was just like,
nope.
nope.
You had a hoodie, and like for half the time, you just put your hoodie over your head, and you were just like, "Oh my god!" And I didn't even blame you. I was like, "Yeah, this is real stupid."
The best part was like the theater was almost empty. There were a couple other people in the
Poor
theater.
old couple in front of us
Yeah.
who probably
Oh my God.
genuinely liked the movie.
And the entire movie, you could hear Jude sighing. And there was a point where, like, we went and saw it with Chris and Nadia from Inside All Day podcast, where every single person in our row went, "You got to be kidding me!"
Yeah.
There's one point where they go, "That's not how water pressure works,"
And
and
I was
all
like,
of us went,
That's
"Yes,
exactly
it is!"
how it works.
You want me to tell you what it's about?
Oh God, yeah. Please. Are you going to do both 1 and 2 or what?
No, I didn't think to
Okay.
do number one.
That's fine, that's fine.
Can before we do 1, can we talk about 2 briefly? Or can before we do? I'm sorry, I've been drinking.
Yes, you
Can
have.
before we do 2, can we talk about
Sure.
1 briefly?
That's not like you.
No,
Briefly,
not
1.
at all.
So,
yesterday was Meg Day at Matt Vader's house.
Okay.
It was pretty wild. I bought the Meg one on Amazon.
Wow.
I bought it. It was on sale.
you purchased this movie?
I'm upset that it lives
It lives
somewhere on your
permanently
electronic.
on my
Watch it
hard
for
drive.
free at HBO.
$6.99. I bought it.
It's
I
on
don't know.
HBO.
I was like, I want to give it more money.
I wanted to
Fucking
show
love
our
that
friends.
shit.
I wanted to show our friends.
All right.
I did a watch party.
Okay.
First watch party I've done in a while for our Discord members.
Mhm.
It was fun. I had a great time. People showed up. We had like 10 people in our
Nice.
Discord.
That's
all of
nice.
our regulars were there. I said, hey, I'm going to go watch this terrible movie. And I had only watched it the one time before 2 years ago
Mhm.
when we interviewed, what's his name?
James
Madigan.
Madigan.
James Madigan,
Not
who was
that
involved
one.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I watched it in prep for that interview that we did on our podcast, and I hated it. I remember I hated it, but I bought it.
That
and
was
I watched,
correct.
I watched it again, and I'm not
Fuck you.
There was something weird that happened that I was in a good mood yesterday.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened.
I want to throw things
but
right now.
You can stab me with something if you want to stab me with my wallet. That's you can
Watching-
hit me.
I'm not going to stab you with something
I didn't
dull.
hate it as much as I thought. I was like, I go, this movie is freaking stupid
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah.
It's dumb as fuck. But for some reason, I didn't completely want to murder myself in my sleep while I was watching this movie. And it was a weird thing.
The book readers, right?
Yeah.
Jude, obviously the OG book reader.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Sorry.
catching up over the last week or so. I can understand her. If you're a fan of the book, these movies are
No.
atrocious. They're like
so-
they're like, hey, you know that thing that you like? Just sneeze in your pasta,
if
like
there-
just that, and
Listen.
you're like, what? Why? Why would you do that to
Here's-
me? I
here's-
get
You know
it.
how you
Here's
really
where-
like Japanese food? Would you like some Chinese instead?
It's like, I have a thing for the second one in a minute that I want to
Yeah,
talk about.
but
But
here's
you
the
enjoy.
thing.
I get like
when I can't imagine in my brain that there is an actual good series of books that's attached to these movies. These movies are so
the books take them,
campy and
Yeah.
weird and bad
the books.
that I can't imagine that there's anything. If there's a book series out there that I haven't read, which I haven't,
It's called The Meg.
which is called The Meg. They took the title, and that's it.
A handful of characters.
And
yeah.
you know,
Oh no!
and they just
Most
turned
of
it,
the characters
and they just
are
turned
in
it
the
into a
first
thing.
movie only by name.
Yeah,
They
by name.
completely changed all of the characters.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the.
Okay. I watched one yesterday, so we could talk about one a little bit
one is-
before we talk about two.
one- I,
So you know,
I watched half of one
yeah.
because I just couldn't make it through the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's a dumb movie, but I would love it if, for the people out there watching who might not be familiar with Jude's first experience with the Meg, if you could recount like
You want me to live my trauma again?
Yes, I want you to talk about your love of the book, how excited you were for the movie because you're wearing the shirt that
You
you
bought
wore to the
merch.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
You
okay.
had a shirt on for God's
So I
sakes.
read the books before I even knew that the movie was coming out. I love the books. I've reread the books a couple of times. And I love the character of Jonas, and I love the relationship that he has with this thing that ruined his life. So Jonas in the books is a paleobiologist. And he is a retired Navy diver. And he was on a dive, and the military fucked him over. And he had a run-in with this prehistoric thing that at the time when he was doing this dive, he didn't even know existed. He was trying to make sense of what happened to him and recover from this traumatic thing that happened to him that ruined his career. And he was like, it has to be this. And so he became an expert about megalodons.
Yeah.
And he goes back to school and he becomes a scholar and he writes books about this. And he goes on like talks and he like gives these lectures about this prehistoric beast that used to be and no longer is. This is a completely different character than is in the movies.
Yeah.
And then like in the books, like he has this shitty wife and she's a reporter and she's just trying to like get footage of this shark and she's using everyone that she can in the process to like further her career. Spoiler, she gets eaten by the shark.
Yeah.
And
That's the other thing too is the death scenes in the book.
oh, they're graphic.
They're graphic and brutal.
They
Oh my
are
God.
gory.
Yeah, and in the movies they're like
There was like no blood.
there's nothing. They're just kind of they just get chomped.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, where's the? Come on.
Yeah. What else happens in the book?
Well, when you went to go see the
die.
movie,
things
you love the
happen.
book. I remember taking you to the movie. You were
I was
so excited for the movie.
I got this fucking shirt
Jude, that's an awesome
to
shirt.
wear to the movie
Can we
because
see
I
the
was
shirt?
so
Let me
excited.
see the shirt. So you got Jaws
That's
and the
Meg.
Jaws chick, and you get the Meg coming up
Yeah.
to eat Jaws.
It's a good shirt.
I gotta say that's a
It's a good
That's
shirt.
that's a beautiful
Stop
shirt.
gesturing at
That's a that's a beautiful shirt. Sorry,
We're good
I'm sorry,
here. We're
Matthew.
good here.
I'm sorry, Matt.
So
I-
excited.
why are you high fiving?
He's been high-fiving everyone for the last hour.
He's like, hey, I just gestured to your fiance's boobs. High five.
Bro.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Jude. I love you.
Bros before hoes, high five.
Bros before hoes.
Anyway, I was so excited
You're
to go
lucky
see the
dude.
movie.
High five.
We got a big group of friends together. I was like, the Meg. In my Facebook story or histories today, it came up as like a post that I've made with the picture from the movie, and it was like, I'm going this day at this time. Who's coming with me? I was so excited for this movie. The trailer looked so fun. And at the time, I was like, Jason Statham, he ain't right for it, but whatever. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I'm sure it's going to be good. And we sat through the movie, and then when we left, I was like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I felt broken.
Yeah, something died in her that day.
One of my girlfriends, she's a really good friend of mine. She went with us, and she was like, "Oh, I really liked that." And I was like, "No, Jen, you did not." And I was mad at her for liking it.
I liked the movie when it came out. I was like, "Oh, it's a dumb, goofy, big shark movie. This is fun."
I was
This
very
is
invested
cool.
in it. I needed to put my expectations very
right?
low.
Because my expectations were like nothing. And I saw the Meg, and I was like, "Oh, it was fun. Why did Jude hate this movie?"
Watching the Meg 1 yesterday, knowing that I'd seen it before, I couldn't remember any of the first movie. It was weird. It was like a first watch.
Mm.
And
It's very forgettable.
It was very strange to me. It's like, I don't remember what happened. And when things happened in the movie, I didn't remember that they happened.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
This
It was
movie
crazy.
made Jude hate Jason Statham.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is where my hatred of Jason Statham stems from.
Jason Statham.
All right, let's get the Meg 2
he's kinda
synopsis out of the
awesome.
way, and we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I guess.
The Meg 2, The Trench, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour 56 minutes. This had a budget of $129 million. As of yesterday, how much do you think this movie made?
I've heard it's been bombing, but I'm going to say it's probably made 150 million.
All right, Vader?
Worldwide? We're doing worldwide or domestic?
Worldwide.
Worldwide, 150.
Okay.
Easily. I think China's
I'll say
probably...
90 million.
All right. $145 million
Yeah.
as of yesterday.
So it's in the green.
It's going to do fine, especially in China.
Well,
Yeah.
they got to make
It's
their marketing
catered. It's
budget
catered
back.
towards them, for sure. There's tentacles.
Oh, there's a lot of
CCP stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the main character is Chinese, right?
Also,
One of them,
did you notice that the uncle, the Chinese uncle, in
Yeah,
this
for sure.
was the dad from the
The
Wandering,
Wandering
Earth?
Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that, but yeah.
He's like
Okay,
he's like
doesn't
one of the
shock
biggest actors in China.
Huh.
Okay.
He's in everything.
So they're definitely unzipping the Chinese zipper right now, going, oh yes, please put it in there. Yeah. So okay.
No one understands anything
They're
that
just
Vader's
lubing
talking
up their
about.
holes and saying like, "Yes, China, give it to me."
Yeah, China. Give me that big Chinese D. Sorry. It's like,
Listen, R2, if you don't clip him making that noise and make it into a GIF,
listen, guys.
you're off the team.
We have been on air for like 8 hours, and I've been drinking the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
synopsis,
if
Jude.
I say stupid shit, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Let's
But
go.
yeah, we're sucking Chinese cock right now. Okay, so whatever. Let's go. Chinese D. Let's do it.
Ready?
You can cut that out if you want. I don't care. Whatever.
You can cut it out if you want. Fuck
Whatever.
you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you either
Don't-
way. Fuck
Chinese
you.
shark shit. Whatever. Fuck. Blah.
Did you get it out?
Alex, I killed him. I killed him.
No one's getting out of here today until you shut up.
Alex is dead.
I don't know why anybody takes this serious.
You
Take
assume
it
they
seriously.
China shark dick.
Why are you using two hands?
It's China in one hand, shark dick in the other.
It's double dick. Double Chinese dick.
Please do the synopsis. Just start. Just go.
Before he does it again, Jude.
I'm waiting for him to shut the fuck up.
Hurry up.
I'm sorry, Jude. I love you. I killed him.
Retired Navy pilot turned paleobiologist Jonas Taylor heads back down to the Mariana Trench, now located in China, to defy the laws of water pressure. When he discovers his 14-year-old stepdaughter stowed away in his sub, he must take seawater into his sinuses to save her. Once back on land, 20 minutes later, he discovers that all kinds of creatures have escaped the trench through a hole in the thermocline and are running amok on Fun Island. In order to save them, he must then strap plutonium to a sword and chase the sea monsters down. Discuss.
Oh,
You're not even joking about Fun Island. It's literally called Fun Island.
That's what it's called.
Alex, there's dinosaurs in this movie. How does that make you feel?
Dinosaur dick.
China dick.
They fucked those up too.
Oh, God.
That was actually from the first book. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was from the first book. This movie has more in common with the second Jurassic Park movie than
Yeah.
it does with the book.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's
Also
not even a
Rambo
joke.
2.
That's not.
There is like a scene from Rambo 2 in this movie.
You know, he's in the spaces right now. I'm blaming my current state of mind on our resident physicist, Dr. Target.
He's in the spaces.
He's in spaces right now.
Gave him too
And
much
I
scotch,
love,
Doc.
I love you, man.
Gave him too much
It's
scotch.
like it's
Oh,
really
so-
good start.
So this is Dr. Target's fault for
This
giving
is
us the
him.
scotch.
I'm fucking double dicking fucking Chinese cocks right
You're
now.
editing this podcast. I am not touching this freaking thing. I can't. Anyway,
Let's go.
yeah, the first thing I noticed after reading the book, this movie has way more callbacks to Jurassic Park than it does the actual
Sure.
book that it's named after.
Yeah.
The plot is almost the same as The Lost World. Like you got the girl who hides away in the place in the back.
Got to rescue her constantly.
You got to rescue her the whole time. She saves the day by some stupid skill that she has, just like in The Lost World. She
like
there's one.
paddleboarded out to save a dog.
There's one bad person who wants to capitalize and or take the Meg and move it someplace else and sell it, and I'm like, okay, that's from The Lost World too.
Right.
Like it's literally
This-
The Lost World,
this
but
mo-
with sharks.
This movie.
And the book is not that at all.
No.
There's a Russian oligarch who like runs the entire show in the book.
Yeah.
His name is Benedict. He has a crazy daughter who is also like a Russian hooker.
Uh-huh.
And
Russian
it's
hooker.
nuts. The book is crazy. It's fun. It's not my favorite. I like the first book better, but
Yeah.
still, like, this is
But
not the same thing.
In the second book, we get introduced to this new monster called a Kronosaurus, which is a giant prehistoric crocodile.
Yes.
The Kronosaurus does not leave the trench. It all happens down in the trench.
Yeah.
But the Kronosaurus is supposed to be like 40 feet long. We got like
We got these little
6
these
feet,
little
little
dog
mini
things.
yeah.
These little
yeah.
dog chomper things that like I don't even know if they're real.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing that pissed me off was like they kept having the sharks hunt in packs. And like
Yeah.
throughout the entire series, megalodons do not hunt in packs because they are apex predators and they attack each other when another one gets near. But the thing that gives the Kronosaurus the edge on the Megs is that the Kronosaurus will hunt in packs, and it's the only way that they can take down a Meg.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And
were
and
just-
now we have like underground mining in the and here's the part where when I was watching this movie I was like I'm done. We're 25,000 feet
1,000
underwater,
Actually, yeah.
and Jason Statham is like, well, gotta get out of here somehow. And he's like, I'm just gonna swim. And everybody's like, you can't swim. We're 25,000 feet down. He's like, I'm gonna swim. And he gets out.
But you gotta empty your lungs.
and-
You gotta
and-
empty
and
your
the-
lungs
Yeah,
to
little-
let your
tell us
stuff
how
come out.
water pressure
The
works.
little girl is like, he's gonna be crushed. What is he doing?
no.
And the scientist is like, oh no, that's
but
not how
do
it
you see
works.
the
And
fish
all of us
hold
went,
on.
yes, it is.
Yeah, she's like, that's not how it works, hon. If he pushes out all of the air in his body somehow, he'll be fine. And I'm
Out
like,
loud, I went, fuck off.
yeah. And I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not no. And then Jason
No.
Statham proceeds to swim 25,000 feet underwater in the trench and outruns a shark and swims to the next porthole and gets in and then
Listen.
is fine. And I'm like,
Okay.
come on.
That's fine. But you know what? How dumb I am?
You believed it?
I believed every second of it.
How?
you.
I have no idea why. I'm like, okay,
No.
all right. He's under the thermocline barrier.
Also, this movie does not understand how thermoclines work.
And also about how cold the
Yeah.
water would probably be.
But the water's warm under the thermocline.
Yeah, under the
Because
thermocline.
the volcanic vents, it warms the water up. It doesn't get past the thermocline. And there's dinosaurs and
Under
shit
the
down there.
thermocline, the water is about 80 something.
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
All
It's
right.
all perfectly
So
warm.
in this scene that we're talking about, they make it a point to say, "Oh, this is not how air pressure or water pressure works," and then they go on to explain how it works in the movie.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience is sitting there like, "Fuck you!
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so-
not how anything works."
So this is a movie that I'm 20 minutes into the movie. Okay, this movie starts. We're in China. Okay, we're fucking China in the Chinese Oceanic Institute, and all of a sudden we have a full-grown Meg that they raised from
A pup.
a pup. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. Okay, but then we get going, and at some point, once they break through the thermocline as they're going down into the region down there for reasons,
The trench.
the trench, I say, okay, I have to turn my brain off now. I have to go into a different mode of movie watching. I have to go, this movie is so absurd and stupid that I have to manually make myself flick a switch in my brain to where I don't care about stupid shit anymore. And that's what I did. I manually did that. I was like, click, dumb movie, engaged. Let's go. Let's have some fun. And that's what I did.
What's crazy is that before we even get to that point where they're diving down into the trench, the whole opening scene of this movie, aside from the dinosaur scene, is rescue diver Jason Statham pulling a James Bond on a cargo ship that's dumping toxic waste into the ocean, where he's basically he's taken on 3 guys with like karate moves and
It's Jason Statham.
yeah. I mean, like he jumps into the water
Jones Taylor.
and gets scooped up by like an airplane and stuff like that, like some real 007 spy shit. And like this is supposed to be a guy who was like an alcoholic before like he got back into doing like the whole rescue diving thing and stuff like that. So it's obvious that like the entire time I was watching this opening scene, I'm like, this is just Shaw from Fast and Furious.
Yeah, for sure.
Fighting sharks.
Yeah.
Instead of like
I
cars.
was like, oh, it's Jason Statham making a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
I fully expected Jason Momoa or The Rock to show up at any moment.
And then as
Diesel.
the movie progresses, the sharks come out of the trench and they go to Fun Island.
Well,
Yeah.
no, you're going way.
yeah,
too far.
you're skipping
Yeah.
really far.
I want to.
We haven't even gotten to the illegal mining operation in the dinosaurs.
I want to go even
living
further
in-
back.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is
So
going to be an
in
hour
the
and a half.
first movie, they kill both the sharks.
Uh-huh.
In the books, one of the sharks survives. They put it in the Oceanic Institute.
Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't even name it the same thing. Whatever. So now in the second movie, they were like, oh shit, how are we going to get another shark? We killed them both off last movie. We'll just say we have one. Okay.
Yeah, I bought it. Okay. So there's one Meg. There's gonna probably be a baby
The mine,
Meg
the,
running
the
around.
under the trench mining operation made me laugh because the
Yeah.
guys they were like, "Oh, we're mining rare earth metals,"
crystals.
and I'm like, "I mine rare earth metals,
So
and they're not worth
I mean,
that much."
Yeah.
Just to set-
Also, that explosion that they had rigged up would have done that to the thermocline regardless.
We need to set this up though a little bit. So there's the Oceanic Institute from China, who is exploring underneath the thermocline layer
for
world,
research purposes.
for research
Yeah.
purposes.
Yeah.
They have them set up in the grids. Some of them have been explored. Some of them have not. Okay. They send a group of people, including Jason Statham and all the main characters of the show.
And everyone's real loosey-goosey
everything's
about
like-
this whole
so,
operation.
Oh, we're gonna
we
go
have
down there
We have a
and-
stowaway. Oh,
Yeah.
the other Meg is chasing us. Let's just
Yeah,
see what
whatever.
happens.
But they go down there and it's like you said, Maylin, the chick, the little girl from the first
14-year-old.
movie
Yeah.
is a main character in this movie. The mom is from the first movie is dead.
Did she die in the movie?
She died off screen somewhere between movies.
Okay.
And they make a huge thing of this because there's literally 24 photographs of the mom, and they really send it home.
And what's
they
funny,
really send it home that there's a
what's funny
relationship
is that the mom, the actress who plays the mom, is like one of the biggest actresses in China. Her name's Li Bingbing.
It's like I immediately got the thought that they just didn't want to pay her enough money to come be in this movie.
It's worse.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was a little bit mistaken. So, like,
Okay.
I had told Jude that, like, I was pretty sure that actress had been disappeared by the Chinese government.
Jesus.
But it turns out that was a different actress named Fan Bingbing
Oh, okay.
instead of Li Bingbing,
Okay.
who the Chinese government disappeared for 4 months
Oh my god.
and then re-released her after she started thinking the right way again.
Okay.
But apparently this Li Bingbing was just like so busy with like charitable organizations that she decided not to come back for this movie. And so
Okay.
they just were like, fuck you, we're killing you off.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. They killed off the person who's supposed to be one of the main characters of this
Yeah.
one, and then gave her a brother who died in the first book.
Oh my god. Seriously? That's funny.
It's just like I said, this movie has more in common with Jurassic Park than
Yeah.
it does with the actual
And
book it's based off.
When you're watching
And
this movie, you can sense that it doesn't have anything to do with the source material because the way they killed people off from the first movie and added characters seems very contrived.
And every time the Meg killed anyone, it looked like, I was telling Kadish this yesterday, it looked like a ride at Universal
Yeah.
where you're like sitting there and you're like, oh, the Meg's gonna kill someone. And it comes up and it goes, arr, 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 and it goes back down. There's no ripping apart. Have you ever
There's no
seen a shark kill something?
Yeah, I did actually a couple weeks ago
Like,
on YouTube. It
I
was
mean, we've all watched Shark Week.
It's
There was
very-
no blood in this movie.
Yeah, there was no blood in this
At
movie.
one point, somebody cuts their hand, and that was more blood than happened when anyone died.
I also want to ask, it's like there are shots in this movie where Megs are like swallowing like 5 or 6 people like at a time. And it's
Yeah.
like, at what point do they decide that they're full and they're just not going to feed anymore?
They never do.
They never did.
For sharks never get full.
It's a shark
What are you
movie.
talking about? But
Yeah.
There's a bad guy, and I'm not going to go into backstory about who he is and where he came from because I really don't care. But there's a bad guy in this movie, and he teleports from
Yes.
one location to the next with an army.
He does. He
does.
teleports.
He teleports from the movie Rambo 2 to our new movie,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 2.
He's in Rambo too?
There's a scene where there's this underground or underwater bad guy who's been leading the illegal mining operation beneath, in the trench. And he has a personal vendetta against Jason Statham for some reason. And at a certain point, he's trapped on this remote kind of like research facility in the middle of the ocean. And the next scene that we see on Fun Island, after we've shown Jason Statham and crew getting a huge head start, he's already there with a whole new crew of mercenaries in order to
Waiting for
capture them. And they never show how he gets there. And they've already established that remote research station has like no helicopter, no boats, it's surrounded by sharks and bad stuff. So like
Fun Island.
yeah, as soon as we cut to Fun Island, we're like, how did that guy get there so fast?
The whole time, so the sharks end up attacking Fun Island, and for the entirety of the third act of this movie, there's people in the water at Fun Island.
Yeah.
And like people are being eaten. There's people. There's scenes of like them on the beach going, "Oh no, look at those poor people! They're being eaten." As people run past them to get into the water,
Yeah.
and then like 20 minutes later, there's still people in the water after the attacks have already happened. I'm like, what? They just didn't. Nobody cared about this movie. They're just
No.
like, whatever.
I cared.
Things happen on
I
screen.
liked it. I cared.
You liked it?
I did. I liked parts of it. You know what I liked about
The
this movie?
octopus was cool.
Oh, the octopus was awful.
There's
you
a
know what I did
scene
like?
where the Meg versus giant octopus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the very end. That's the climax of the movie.
Mhm.
But you know who was awesome in this movie? DJ.
DJ couldn't
DJ.
even swim in the last
DJ
movie.
was
He
All
learned
of
how
a
to swim.
sudden,
He was-
he's John Wick
He was fucking awesome.
with
learned how to swim.
his designer backpack
Listen,
full of
there
supplies.
was a point in this movie, okay, where it quit taking itself seriously and fully, legitimately jumped
Well,
the shark.
Jason Statham did not
Okay,
get the memo on that.
It was like you could like literally almost see it as the movie was going through it. It's like we're gonna go from kind of weird sort of fun action adventure movie to fully campy, stupid weirdness.
Mhm.
It was like it was two different script writers from completely different genres of movies took on this movie. It was like from the point after they went into the underground mining operation, the weird when they escaped from that, and once they escaped from the mining operation and they went to Fun Island, it was completely two different scripts. It was very strange.
Also,
But the evolution of DJ from the first movie to the second movie was a thing of legend. It was legendary. Okay, this guy went from, oh, I can't swim. I'm the guy in the movie, I can't swim. But I lived. I lived, motherfuckers.
don't fucking look at me like that.
I lived. I'm the black guy in the movie who lived. Okay, that was the thing.
What's this LL Cool
All right.
J from Deep Blue
Yeah.
Sea?
and his evolution from the first movie to the second movie is awesome. It's like yeah, I lived and I learned how to swim and I went and I learned karate
Yeah.
and all this shit
And how to shoot.
and I learned how
Yeah.
to shoot and I bought a big fucking gun and I got my backpack of awesomeness
bro,
full
bro.
of everything that's necessary.
Hey, hold my taser.
Yeah.
His survival pack.
And he's got
Oh,
a 50 caliber gun. And he's got
hold on.
backpack of
You said
excellence.
that 3 times.
Yeah.
I will say I did laugh at one point when they were like, "Here, spray the guys with this spray, and then we'll run out and tase them." And he sprays the guys with the guns, and then he runs out, and the spray goes back into his eyes, and he's like, "Oh my god!" I'm freaking out. I laughed at that. That was pretty funny.
DJ was my favorite character
Okay, cool,
of both movies.
fair.
It
Also.
was incredible. I loved his character evolution. It was very well written. I bought it. It was very well written.
I'm glad
and
that they
explored.
replaced Ruby Rose with that Hispanic chick.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my god!
I don't have anything else to say about this movie.
Oh
I have
really?
one
Jude-
more thing to talk about.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So the
Dinosaurs.
undercover mining operation
Yeah.
is inside a sunken ship
Yeah.
for covert. Why? Who the fuck goes down there?
I guess the Chinese oceanic exploring
Yeah.
people. I
Well,
don't-
what's funny is like the big Bond villain of this movie, like the overall big bad
the
who's
girl,
hiring
that
like all
lady?
this stuff.
yeah.
So it's the girl who played Jill Valentine in the Resident Evil movies. But she, it's kind of funny, like when she's giving her villainous monologue, she's like, "We're going to strip mine the bottom of the ocean and become rich. And it's going to be decades before people learn how fucked the earth is." It was just like all these people who just didn't give a shit about environmentalism as the
And
main
then,
bad
like
guys.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she started talking like a valley girl. She was like, "And anyway, who cares?"
You know what they really needed was she needed to have a long-haired white cat that she could pet.
Or a bald one.
Or yeah, it was just there was so many weird. I'm looking at you right now, and you are like completely checked out. It is.
Yeah.
This movie is so dumb to you that you don't even want to talk
But-
about it anymore. But for some reason, I had a great time
So
watching this movie.
The thing that bothered me most about this movie is in the very opening scene where the Meg eats the Tyrannosaurus Rex, they introduce these little doggy dinosaurs
Yeah.
that are also amphibious. And I had to leave the theater for a little bit, go to the restroom. And when I came back, I guess I missed something important because when they go to Fun Island, all of a sudden it's infested with these little like dinosaurs. I was like, where did the dinosaurs
They
come
never
from?
tell you.
They didn't build that up at all.
It's assumed they came up through the
Yeah.
thermocline
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah, but they never show that.
No,
They never talk about it.
they were underneath there,
Yeah.
and we
They
were
just pop up.
Yeah.
I was like, Fun Island doesn't look very fun to me.
No.
Because
No.
all of a sudden, like there are like dozens of these like mini doggy dinosaurs. They're just like mauling people left
Yeah.
and right. And so that's on land. And then in the ocean, you have a giant squid and like
World's-
3 megs.
The world's worst giant squid.
Yeah.
Why is it the worst?
Because it just didn't make any sense.
That was the only thing I liked in the whole movie.
Because it was on the beach and it was in like 60 feet of water.
It just
No,
didn't
no,
work.
no.
It
The
didn't work for me.
best part about this movie was when they're paddling away from the secret station. Jason Statham's character gets the bright idea to take out some explosives and attach them to spears. And everyone's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm making explosive spears." And they're like, "That's not going to work." And he's like, "Yeah, it will." And
Every
then,
paleobiologist knows how to make exploding
Yeah.
spears.
Duh.
and then like when they
Explosive
get to
spears.
Fun Island, he's like, "I need to find me a jet ski." And then they find a jet ski very
Okay.
conveniently,
Yes.
and he straps 4 of these explosive spears to his back, gets on the jet ski, and he's like, I'm going to lead them out into open water and kill them all. And then he like drives out there. And of course, like there's like one super Meg who's like all scarred up, and he's like Statham's nemesis, you know? And so like he throws one spear at a Meg, misses, blows up. And then he's got 2 more spears that he pulls out. And as one of the Megs like jumps and creates this big wave, he like rides the wave up in slow motion.
It's glorious.
It's glorious.
It's fucking glorious.
It's a trailer moment.
It needs
hate
a,
it
it
so
needs
much.
a poster. I want to put a poster of that right there.
It's so ridiculously stupid that it was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's how I felt about this movie. It was so dumb. It broke past my this is so dumb, it's dumb barrier, and moved into so stupid.
Your dumb thermocline?
Yeah. He went through the stupid thermocline and became a fun movie for him.
His stupid
I
climb.
can't believe I'm watching this dumb
Stupicline.
movie.
It
It's
went
kinda
through your
fun.
stupicline.
Yeah, my stupid
Are we dubbing it for that from now on?
The stupid climb.
If the movie is so bad that it's good, it goes past the stupid climb barrier.
Can we hashtag that? It
Sure.
broke my
Hashtag stupid
Can
climb.
I say
Yeah.
one more thing
Just
that
one more.
really irritated me about the science of
There's
this
no
movie?
science here.
Was when they were like trying to flee from the Meg in the very beginning before they even get to the trench. They were like, "Oh, she's after us," and they were like, floor it. She can't get through the thermocline. That is not how that works. She already did the hard part. She's in the freezing cold waters. The thermocline, once she gets to the thermocline, that's cruising altitude.
Also,
Yeah.
the way that she got out of the research institute was really contrived.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's kind of how
she
she
just
gets
broke
out
into
Yeah,
of
the
it.
bar.
that's how she does it in the
Yeah.
book. So I
What was her name?
like,
Haichi? Haichi?
Hmm?
Haichi.
Oh, I don't
That
know
was
her
her
name. Her name is Angel in the book.
But
Yeah.
you know, we're going to be a Meg 3, and she's pregnant, and we're going to have
Yeah, there's gonna be like 17 more. How many
Yeah.
How many babies do sharks have?
They,
Is it just one at a
they
time?
can have like up to 6, I think, in the books.
I'm
But usually they eat a couple of them
but we
right
should
away.
point out it's that Meg. I forget her name. Haichi. Is that it?
Haichi. Yeah.
Haichi. Haichi is the one who kills the giant squid.
Yeah.
And it was it almost felt like I was suddenly watching an Asylum picture. You know, the ones that make all those like really bad shark movies like that you see on like Tubi and stuff like that, where it's like mega megalodon versus
Mega megalodon.
Giant octopi.
yeah versus werewolf octopus. You
Yeah.
know, like it turned into like a scene in this movie.
Anywhere between 2 and 12.
Oh,
Okay.
good. That's nice.
It's a wide margin.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
Anywhere
same
between
for
2
a
and 12.
human, pretty much.
I guess it depends on how many Chinese dicks the megalodon takes, right, Vader?
The
Yeah.
dumbest fucking part of this movie was click click. He's my friend. I trained
Oh, yeah.
him.
Bing, bing.
No, the dumbest part of this movie was Jason Statham swimming in the trench with no suit. That
Yeah, that
was
was
Okay,
the
yeah, that-
dumbest
that.
thing.
But you know, that was like the weirdest thing to me. It was like I felt like we were watching like this weird hybrid movie of a stupid Jaws 4 and The Abyss. It was like a very strange.
There's a point in this movie where DJ takes out his 50 caliber gun
Oh, so
and
good.
says the bullets are even poison tipped, just
Oh,
like
so
in
good.
Jaws 2.
That was, I love that dude. That dude, it's like, that dude went from the biggest pussy in the world in the first movie to it's like, he's kicking mercenaries, 4 of them, their asses in the middle of this movie.
He slow motion
Yeah.
jumped and shot.
Yeah, it was so good.
Like
It was so dumb.
like it was a John Woo movie.
And then
Yeah.
like after he kills the guy, he's like, and they said 50 caliber was overkill.
It was an impractical round.
Practical round.
It's ridiculous.
What do you, well, give it a star rating, man. What's your star rating? Is it,
I
come on,
don't know.
stupid.
Two,
Break through the stupicline.
I don't know, 2 dead sharks out of 5, I guess.
2? Okay.
It's entertaining. I'll give it that. It's
All right.
don't think about it.
No.
Don't read the book.
Yeah.
Because it's not that. So yeah, I mean, but
You
like,
got to break yourself from the books, right?
yeah, you really do. You really do. I mean, so much so that it's not even funny. Like, I'm not joking. This
Yeah.
movie has more in common with Jurassic Park than it does with the Meg. So why they call it the Meg, I don't know.
Big Shark.
Big Shark.
Just call it Big Shark.
It's entertaining. It's stupid. But you know, if you're what does Jeremy John say? It's a good time if you're drunk.
Sure.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I read both books. They were, besides some shaky narration, they were both pretty good books.
Would have
But
been
yeah.
better if Jude read them.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, those narrators were terrible.
Not great. I cannot recommend the audio versions of the Meg and the Meg 2. They're
I concur.
rough. How about you? Stupid Klein.
So
Stupid Klein.
stupid Klein. Hashtag stupid Klein. So here's the thing. For some reason, I enjoyed the shit out of watching this movie. But at the same time, I know it was one of the dumbest things I've ever spent money on
Mhm.
at a theater. I am a solid 2 out of 5 stars on this thing.
Okay.
Okay, just like you. But I was in a weird mood when I watched this movie last night. I was texting you.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm kind of enjoying just being by myself alone.
You had the whole theater by yourself.
Well, there was like 4 other people,
Oh, okay.
5 other people that showed up during their previews. But I might as well have been by myself because I had this giant theater. I could not see anybody else that was in there. It was a by myself experience
Nice.
watching this movie, and I kind of had a weirdly good time. It was nice to just kind of get alone with my thoughts and with a terrible movie with some weird CGI and a giant shark, and I needed some alone time. It was weird. It's not a good movie. It's a terrible movie. It's fucking awful. But I had a good time watching. I'm gonna go two high cheese. You know, I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna make a third.
Oh,
Probably.
definitely. If it makes money, they'll do it.
I don't know how this movie could make money.
China.
I don't. It's
China.
very China favorable.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this movie should make. It's got Chinese main characters. It's got China as the main,
Good guy. And yeah,
as
it's
one of the main bad
Oh.
good guys. It's based in China.
honorable mention
You
to
know-
the Chinese idea of a rich white guy,
Yeah,
rich American guy.
I
He's a
did,
complete douche, completely unlikable, and he dies in a gruesome way. And you're like, oh, that's what they think of us.
I like the fact that they bothered to bring characters from the first movie into the second movie.
It's a sequel. Why wouldn't they
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah. But what I'm saying is, they brought some of the same actors. It's the fact they brought
Just like every sequel.
I know, but they brought the little girl back. They just
It's a sequel.
okay. Shut up. But you know that doesn't happen a lot with new movies.
What about all the characters they didn't bring back?
It's like I don't care.
No Ruby Rose.
No Ruby Rose.
No Lee Bing Bang.
Ruby Rose's time is gone. She's done.
He's like, points for like having the
Points
same
for stuff.
characters as the
I,
first movie.
I like how
really-
they put a
I
2
really
at
like-
the end of the title.
Yeah, I
that
like-
was really creative.
I like DJ. The guy got some really good character growth.
I'm so dumb.
Okay. What?
Jude.
Shut your
I
stupid Klein.
stand DJ. Hashtag stupid Klein rules.
I would like to
Okay.
thank you, Alex, for going on this journey with me so that someone understands where my venom for this movie comes from. Thank you
Movies are
for
awful.
doing that for me.
And they disrespect the
I
books.
regret making this bet with you.
Me too.
Because I never wanted to see this.
Can we not do this again?
Sure. I wouldn't even watch the trailer for this leading into it. I went into this movie only knowing what happens in the book and also knowing none of that shit's going to happen in the movie.
no.
I've never seen a trailer for it.
There's no Russian
Even
chick.
yeah. Every time it would come on, I would turn away because I was trying to avoid this movie so vehemently. So thanks a lot. This is a 1-star crap fest.
Sure.
This
No.
is a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
Fair.
I hate it. The whole movie, I was like, the whole movie.
Yeah.
I could not contain how much I hated the experience
Confirmed.
of having to watch this movie. I hate it.
Okay, Kadish?
So the best part about this movie was listening to Jude's reactions as I was
bet.
watching the movie, because every couple minutes she'd just be like, you'd hear her slowly dying next to me.
Yeah.
And occasionally
Slow down.
I'd hear Alex join in on that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad that you sat next to me for it
I
so
had
that
to.
you could be like, hey, how about it? So I had someone to be like, yeah, he's from fucking Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oi, Oh, kill me a Meg.
And Nadia and Chris were also there. I think Nadia liked it, didn't she?
I think she had more fun
she
watching
was like,
us.
it was one of those so fun, it's good movie type kind of reactions. Yeah.
Well, I know that I think when Chris came out, he was like, it was better than Barbie.
High praise.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
that yet.
But yeah, watching this movie, like I went in knowing it was going to be ridiculously dumb.
Yeah.
And I was not disappointed. This movie was so stupid.
Mm.
Like, there are turn your brain off action movies that you can sit down and watch and enjoy, like Vader did. But I couldn't break that stupid Klein barrier
Yeah.
because my brain doesn't work that way.
Did we just turn that into a thing?
It's hard for me to get past the stupid clown. Okay.
I don't think that's accurate at all.
No, I watch a lot of your movies that are bullshit. All right. And for some reason there was just something about this movie that's like, I'm like, okay.
I will never
Let's go.
begrudge you having a good time doing
Okay,
something.
that's
So
Yeah. So there,
You do
Like,
you, boo.
completely
there are
cracked
a
out right
few key scenes in this movie that are so ridiculously dumb
yeah.
that they become enjoyable because of how campy they are.
Mhm.
And then there's glaring plot logic and plot hole issues. We almost, at a certain point, I turned to you and I was like, this feels like the sequel to Black Demon.
yeah.
Kind of.
Because there is a point where they're trying to escape the research institute on the open water with like the megalodons in the ocean, and I'm like, that's where Black Demon left off.
Yeah.
Bro, when the dog dinosaur things drag the big bad evil lady out of the helicopter into the tall grass, it's one of the most glorious things I've ever seen. In my
Yeah, but
life.
there was
Go
no
into the
blood.
long
It
grass.
was hilarious.
That's a line from
It
Jurassic Park
was
too.
so good. It was like they just like
You
drag
know what
grass.
else is a line from Jurassic Park? The phone lines are down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said by Samuel L. Jackson. They ripped
It-
off Jurassic Park.
They did.
and when Statham is coming over the wave with the spear,
I mean, that's
and
a
the
trail.
jet
Yeah,
ski,
that's in the trailer.
and
though.
everybody's seen that. That's
Chef's kiss.
it's glorious.
So-
I mean, if you can look at that trailer and still go spend $14 on a ticket to go watch this movie, you deserve everything that you get.
Kadish, what do you
It's-
rate this movie?
All right, I give this a 1.5
Okay.
stupid Kleins.
You and me are the highest scores.
That's weird. I just want to go home.
It's been a long day.
I don't want to do the podcast
I
anymore.
I'm
don't-
done
guys.
fire. I'm done.
I need to take a break.
And that was the last episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast.
Yeah. It was the
We
Meg
never
2.
heard from
The
him
Meg
again.
2
The
broke
Meg
us.
2 broke the
No,
podcast.
it did not.
We
No.
dropped below the stupid Klein barrier and never got out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
stupid
could get
line.
back. No,
That's not how stupid works.
we've got to recover, and hopefully
Listen.
Dracula on a boat helps us recover. Dracula on a
Guys,
boat.
listen to me.
Oh,
So,
Jesus, that's all I've been doing.
we am I talking? Am I extra talking?
We've gone through the Chinese dicks.
No, it's just like we've watched movies like the trauma bullshit.
Yeah.
We've watched way worse movies on this
Yeah.
podcast.
I agree.
Okay, this movie, it's got a national audience. It is what it is.
You made your point.
It's just
Yeah, I will say Poultrygeist was way worse than the
Stop
Meg 2.
bringing that
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing cool shit in Scotland.
Okay? Yeah,
So, I don't
2
want-
weeks. Behave yourselves. Okay?
I've-
Don't do anything that's
yeah.
gonna scar you.
Don't ruin the
No,
podcast.
Real
I've
life.
actually got a movie I want us to watch when you're gone that I'll talk off the air.
Yeah, whatever. As long as it's nothing that I'm gonna come back and hear
No,
like,
no, no,
oh
no,
my
no.
God, you
No,
would
no,
not
no.
believe.
No, it's actually a kind of an interesting movie. It's on Netflix right now.
Okay,
But
all right.
whatever.
All right. Yeah, just behave yourselves. Just
Okay.
take it easy.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
don't go
There's
nuts.
Don't burn the house down.
There's no.
Like have your fun, do your exorcist
There's no
stuff,
trauma
bring the
movies.
demons into the studio, whatever.
We're totally going to possess the studio while you're gone. It's
Ugh. I'm here alone a
You're gonna
lot.
have to get some Catholic priest to come in and burn some sage and shit
Yeah.
in here while you're gone.
I have
So-
plenty of sage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. I'm done with this. This is nonsense. Thank you guys for watching. Welcome to August Bites Part 3. Dracula in a Boat will be better.
Dracula in a boat.
I'm afraid to get excited for it.
Are you
Because every
gonna
time
be
I
here-
get excited
are
about
you gonna be
something,
here
it
for that?
turns out to suck.
Yes, we're doing it Monday.
Okay, so you're
I'll be
not
here.
gonna be in Scotland when we record this
No.
show. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be your
here.
last show before Scotland.
Yeah,
Okay.
be Dracula on a boat.
Cool. Dracula in a boat.
Dracula on a boat.
Can't wait.
All right. I'm stupid. Stupid Klein. Bye.
Stupid Klein.
Vader, one more Chinese dick before we go.
I hate you so much.
Let's go.